Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to Grapperinos, the wrestling pizzeria where we serve you a slice of probably next week on Smackdown. I'm Bryon, and joining me in this endeavor is someone who fears the gingerbread man, Mike. Say hi, Mike.
Does the gingerbread man? No, wait, shit, that's the muffin man. Fuck, I messed it up. Uh,
Did you confuse the gingerbread man and the muffin man?
I did,
They're both completely different
I did,
people.
I did. Unfortunately, yes. Um, I, I wonder how much longer this gingerbread man angle is going to go on for. Um, because like if it goes on until Christmas, you could have a whole new like renewal. You could have you could have instead of masked men, you can have gingerbread men. You can have a whole army of gingerbread men show up and attack
Oh
Sami
God,
Zayn.
this is like the Los Americanos situation where you extend the El Grande Americano gimmick so much that you start integrating other things into the storyline. It's probably what's going to happen here. I think as long as Lil Yachty is present, I think that's when you're gonna keep the storyline going. Because apparently the Gingerbread Man is confirmed to be Lil Yachty. I don't know.
Apparently, he was. Speaking of celebrity involvement, Brian, I heard rumors that they are trying to get another celebrity sports commentator involved.
Oh no. Is it better or worse than Pat McAfee?
I'd argue probably worse. Do you know who Stephen A. Smith is, Brian?
I do. I
Yeah,
watched some of his stuff. Yeah.
I heard rumors that they're trying to get Stephen A. Smith involved, which would be kind of hilarious. Stephen A. Smith is at least funnier than Pat McAfee. Um,
Yes.
he did when he had his own show for a little while. Um, he he would do these things where he would like I guess someone sent him in. Shoot, I don't know the I think it was who was it? It was some like cartoon character. No, I think it was no. I think it was SpongeBob characters, and they sent them in a question being like, "Can you analyze how good they would be at
Oh
basketball?"
yeah.
And this dude like does a full breakdown of like each individual.
Yes.
So he can do a shit post every once in a while. So I think he'd be all right. He's
I
almost
think
got
so
like that
too.
MVP esque, like bravado to him a little bit.
Yeah. And I think he would carry the heel commentator part of the commentary desk much better
He
than
would
Pat
be
McAfee, I think.
he would be a very good heel commentator. I would say that much. He
Yeah.
would.
Or color commentator, I guess is the term for that. But yeah. No, so I guess since we're done with Pat McAfee, do you know how long it's projected that Stephen A. Smith would be in the company for?
I don't know. The only rumors I saw on the dirt sheets were that they had pretty deep talks about getting involved in an angle. So I remember
Probably
he
Danhausen.
he did interview Seth Rollins at one point. Whether or not that's alluding to him being involved with Seth Rollins um, is another thing. Very interesting, very interesting pairing between them two. But yeah, it does not look like the celebrity involvement is going to stop anytime soon. So
Yeah. I mean, whether you like it or not, I mean, they're gonna continue with it. I think this celebrity thing, I think, is more from the TKO side of things. I don't think Triple H or WWE Creative are sort of okaying that aspect, but because WWE is owned by TKO, I feel like they have to accept it, whether they like it or not. So I don't know. CM Punk can say whatever the hell he wants about celebrity involvement, but it's gonna it's gonna happen, whether he likes it or not. So I did forget to mention one thing from Backlash, which is John Cena announcing the John Cena Classic, which is something that happens. I don't know, man. It was kind of like a vague announcement kind of deal where some specifics were shown, but not really. He said that John Cena Classic is probably going to be a one night sort of event, kind of like Saturday night's main event. And in that event, he's going to put together, or WWE Creative is, I guess, they're going to put together a bunch of matches with a bunch of WWE and NXT folks. They're going to verse them. And the people are apparently going to vote on whoever they think has the brightest future in the company. And whoever the people wants the most, I don't know if I worded that right, but whatever. The person who, the people want the most gets the John Cena Championship. I'm assuming that the championship will be a spinner belt, but, you can never know with these things. But a lot of the IWC are sort of complaining about it because of the fact that, well, you're kind of putting them in matches, and yet you're having the people vote for whoever they think has the brightest future. So what is the point of the matches? And also, what is the point of losing a match if the people are going to vote for you anyway and you just win? You see what I'm saying? So I think that's what a lot of the IWC's complaints about the John Cena Classic are. But this was a thing that was announced in Backlash, and there seems to be a little bit of an outrage in it, Mike. But do you think this idea could work?
I do.
Is the question.
I do think it can work.
Okay.
And I actually think it's kind of refreshing. I know that the majority opinion in the IWC right now is that everything that this company puts out is ass, and, that's partly true. But I do think this can work out because it introduces something that this company has needed for a little while, wherein the talent, not saying that they don't, work hard, because they do, but they have an incentive to work hard. I mean, it's probably going to be scripted, as we know, like, with every fucking Cyber Sunday thing, like, it's mostly scripted. Like, they tend to have, 3 scenarios written up, depending on who they think is going to win. So, but, this can, if like, you're an NXT talent who gets an opportunity to go to this show, and you actually, like, put on a really good match, you perform really well, the fans can get behind you and it gets you noticed. So I think it has benefit to do that, to see, for them to sort of test the waters like they did at John Cena's last match. So
yeah,
I'm interested to see how this goes. I think it will be similar to, the Andre Battle Royal, right, or the Crown Jewel Championship, where it's sort of a yearly or like a one-time thing that whoever wins it, and it's not like a belt that can be exchanged. This is kind of like a trophy. I think that's how it's going to be, and at least that's what it sounded like. So
yeah,
I'm interested, but we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the complaints are just from speculation, and I'm not, one to not give it a chance. I think that, they have an opportunity here to make it work, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then, as John Cena says, it'll be his fault. So, there you go. But anyway, I think that's everything I wanted to go over before we get into the heart and soul of the show, which is predicting the next episode of Friday Smackdown. Oh boy, this show, I don't know what to say anymore. I feel like this show is almost unwatchable, if not for Danhausen, and maybe some other points. To me, it just feels like SmackDown is just the worst of the two shows. At least with Monday Night Raw, you have some really good superstars there. You have CM Punk, you have Roman Reigns. They seem to be putting a lot more effort in Monday Night Raw than Friday Night SmackDown, and that just sucks. But I guess we'll have to deal with that. And I'm not sure what matches they are going to build towards besides Cody versus Gunther in Clash in Italy. But we're gonna predict that, and we're gonna see what happens next on the next episode of SmackDown in this here show. So let's get to the rules. The rules of our booking. If you have not seen the show in a while or have never seen it, here are the current rules as of now. I don't know if you might have been living under a rock, but Grapperinos has undergone some sort of reservation. That's not the right word. Some sort of change, and now it's a brand new era. So we got new rules. We are now integrating the backstage segment aspect. So now we're predicting the ad-free / backstage segments of the show. Although to make the workload sort of more comfortable, we decided on an up to 3 sort of rule. So we can only predict up to 3 backstage segments or ad-free segments on the show. And we are also putting in some rules regarding debuts, any call-ups of NXT superstars or TNA superstars, maybe even AAA. So there you go. After we tell you what we think will happen on the next episode of Friday Night SmackDown in this show, we will watch the actual next episode of SmackDown as it airs, and then we will score our predictions and bookings based on this brand new scoring system. So here are the changes. Basically, we kind of simplified the whole thing. There's no more half points. It's just 1 point if we get it right, and it has to be an exact match. So, if it's not exact, then too bad, no points. We'll see how this goes. This is a brand new era, and we'll see if that scoring system stays the same or changes throughout this whole thing. But we shall see. Scores, we are 0-0. This is an even playing field this time. We're starting over fresh, so there you go. I don't think anything is announced for this week, unless Mike says something. I don't think so. But, alright, well, without further ado, let's book this thing and get to my version of the show first, as Trick Williams heads to the ring. Trick Williams talks about the US Championship match he had against Sami Zayn at Backlash. He says he got revenge for the Gingerbread Man, and he dedicates his victory to the Gingerbread Man. He hopes that it's the end between Trick Williams and Sami Zayn, and that he can move on to other things. He is then interrupted by Carmelo Hayes, who says it may be over between Sami Zayn and Trick Williams, but Trick and Carmelo is just getting started. He challenges Trick Williams to a US Championship match at Clash in Italy, and Trick Williams says he'll think about it, but before Carmelo, kind of walks out of the ring, he does a sneak attack on Carmelo. And so I don't think it is over between Sami and Trick, because this company does not know how to end things. So I think at Clash in Italy, it will be a triple threat match between Sami Zayn, Trick Williams, and Carmelo Hayes. And the winner of that triple threat match, I think, will be Trick Williams. And then at SummerSlam, you can have Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes proper. And there you go, I guess. I don't know. It's just off the top of my head, because these people don't really put a lot of effort into the show, so why should I? Moving on to a 6-woman tag team match. Hell yeah. We got Jade Cargill, B-Fab, Michin taking on Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley. This happens due to what happened last week, where Michin, B-Fab, and Jade Cargill just attack Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I will have the heels win by pinfall. After the match, the heels continue to beat up the faces while Jade Cargill takes Rhea's title. She raises it. Excuse me. I think this will lead to a rematch at the Go Home show for Clash in Italy, because I think they're just going to have 5 matches in the show. So you might as well just put the rest on SmackDown, because why not? So Rematch? What rematch, you might be asking? So I'm thinking that Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill will have another match for the Women's Championship. And I think this will be the end of the feud between Jade and Rhea. Rhea just, takes it. And Jade Cargill can move on to the women's tag team division, while Rhea Ripley sort of looks for her next challenger. Potentially a Jordan Grace. That would be great if she can appear on television. Probably, I don't know, Chelsea Green or someone else, but I don't know. Whatever. I think Rhea kind of deserves it at this point, so I will lead with that, I guess. We'll move on to R-Truth versus Tama Tonga. This happens because I guess we gotta put the MFT up against the tag team champs. I will have Tama Tonga win by pinfall because R-Truth is a joke. After the match, the MFT continued to pounce on R-Truth, but is saved by Damian Priest and Royce Keys. They shooed the MFT away from the ring, and a match is made by Nick Aldis later tonight between Royce Keys and Tama Tonga. So, there you go, I guess. We're gonna move from that to a backstage segment. This is the first of 3, I'm predicting. Again, this is up to 3, so it doesn't have to be 3, but here you go. Danhausen shenanigans. He pulls some shenanigans on The Miz and Kit Wilson because I guess this feud is still not over, I guess. I don't know. We'll put any shenanigans with Danhausen. That's all I'm saying for this one. So, I will move from that to Tiffany Stratton versus Alba Fire. And this is to build up, I think, to a Tiffany Stratton versus Chelsea Green match at Clash in Italy or the Go Home Show for the Women's US Championship. When Chelsea eventually heals up, which I think is probably Clash in Italy. Who knows? Tiffany Stratton wins by pinfall, and after the match, she gets a message from Chelsea Green, basically saying, your time is limited, Tiffy time is limited, Chelsea's time is up, and she's ready to go. She's gonna face Tiffany Stratton at Clash in Italy, and that's it, I guess. So yeah, I think Tiffany Stratton is probably going to retain here if that match were to happen. Sorry to say, and I think another match between them could also potentially be up at SummerSlam, where Chelsea Green finally gets it. But, I guess is what I'm thinking about that, I guess. This Women's US Championship is just not doing well right now. So, there you go. Backstage segment, 2 of 3. This is Shinsuke talking to Tama Tonga once again. Shinsuke talks to Tama Tonga about how the MFTs are treating him, kind of similar to last week. He is then shooed away by Tama Tonga, who just pushes him out of the way. He tells Tama Tonga to leave. He then kind of stares at Shinsuke for a bit. He's like, yo, you better not do it again or else I'm actually punch you in the face. He then walks to his match, which is up next, as Royce Keys takes on Tama Tonga. Royce Keys wins by pinfall. After the match, the MFT try to beat up Royce Keys, but Damian Priest and R-Truth come in to save him. And as I said, it will lead to the MFT versus Damian Priest and R-Truth at the Clash in Italy Go Home Show. Or the show itself. But since this company doesn't care about tag team wrestling, considering they let go of the New Day, I'm going to have it happen at the Go Home Show. So, and I guess we'll say that the MFT take it because they're an actual team, and Damian Priest and R-Truth are a makeshift tag team. And hopefully, this means that we actually get some actual tag teams to challenge the MFT. But what do I know? They let go of the New Day, so whatever. I think they also let go of the Motor City Machine Guns, so we're never gonna see Motor City Machine Guns as a bad guy group. So, yay. I guess Johnny Gargano will have to slump over at the table much longer. I guess this is just him waiting out his contract so he can go to AEW to join Ciampa, but I guess that's a price to pay, I guess. We will move on to the last segment, which is Gunther. He comes out, he talks about Cody Rhodes. He says that Cody got too comfortable dealing with Randy Orton and Pat McAfee, and so that caused him to get complacent. And when he gets complacent, that is when he is the weakest. He will exploit that weakness when he gets a championship match against Cody at Clash in Italy. And he will be the new champion once the bell rings to end the match. Cody then comes in, he takes off his suit, he says, "Enough, enough, enough." He rushes in to attack Gunther, but Gunther starts putting him in a chokehold. Cody eventually reverses it to a crossroads and raises his title at Gunther's body on the ground as the show goes off the air. If this match were to happen, I hope Gunther wins because Cody Rhodes is getting stale, and I thought they were gonna do a heel turn with Cody at WrestleMania, but I guess not. So Gunther better get it at this point, and I guess Cody Rhodes, maybe when Randy comes back, you can put him in a feud with Randy Orton. So I don't know. I really do hope Gunther gets it, and yeah. That's what I got for the show. Any questions, Mike?
Do you think Randy interferes on Cody Rhodes or causes him to lose the title? I agree that it should go to Gunther, because Cody is getting quite stale with this title now. But do you think they pull that card sooner rather than later, or are they gonna wait to bring Randy back?
I think if they were to pull that, they might as well just have Cody retain at Italy, and then at SummerSlam, you probably would have a rematch between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, in which Randy Orton kind of takes it from Cody, I guess. I don't see Randy interfering in Gunther versus Cody at all. I think it would rather be sort of a straight up one-on-one match. And then potentially the SmackDown after Clash in Italy is when you'll have Randy Orton maybe come back. I just don't see Randy kind of interfering in a match in Italy at this point. I don't see the point exactly. I think they would rather just wait out the Randy Orton sort of going away for a while, and then when Cody least expects it, that's when Randy sort of strikes, and I think it'll be at SummerSlam, so.
Okay. Seeing how dismal this this tag team division has become, do you expect a unification match at any point at SummerSlam? Maybe. I know I said it was coming at WrestleMania, and that was before we had a whole bunch of releases related to the tag team division. Yep. So, how do you see the tag team division on both shows evolving at this point?
Honestly, I think it will be the same deal. I don't think there will be a unification match. The best thing they could do at this point is potentially just call up a bunch of tag teams from NXT and be like, "Hey, here's the tag division now. Go make the most of it, I guess." And they'll try to, and let's just face it, guys. There will never be another New Day ever again in this company. There will never be another tag team like the New Day who sort of has the ability to sort of, relate or I guess, go over as a tag team. I don't think we will get to that point ever in this company unless the company tries something to focus on the tag team division and let these tag teams have some goddamn personality, for God's sakes. But I don't think it will happen at all. Nor a unification will happen. I think they will just keep them the same and just, not care at all about the division, unfortunately. I think they put more effort in the women's tag team division than the men's tag team division, and I don't think that's okay at all. So, I think it should be equal. Pure simple. So,
Bryan is a noted gender equality advocate. Um, very nice. So,
I mean,
so
yeah.
you think that Giulia and Tiffany is happening in a clash in Italy, right? Um, so, given that there's basically only three people at this point, because I guess um, you know, Kiana James is really just an enhancement talent for whoever happens to have the U.S. title at that point. It's really just a three-person race between Chelsea, Tiffany, and Giulia. Uh, do you see anyone else being inserted into this scene? My first thought was Blake Monroe. They seem to be teasing her debut, and I think that she'll slot very nicely into that scene. Um, I don't really see anyone else that can be involved in this women's U.S. title scene.
Yeah, I mean, let's put another Gunnar wrestler on SmackDown. Why not? They gonna seem to have a deficit, I guess. But no, to I think that the women's U.S. title situation is just not that great overall. I think that I would rather they. Okay, this is a lot. Let me take a step back. Okay, so let's just say, am I might be correct in saying this, but they wasted Giulia. I'm just come out there and say it. I think they messed up Giulia. Both of her title reigns are goddamn terrible. They're both bad. There's nothing memorable about them except for the fact that Giulia wasn't even present a lot on the show when she had the title, and that is not good. So let's just put it out there. They messed up Giulia twice. Twice now. They messed her up.
They should pair her with Johnny Gargano and make them like an anti-work tag team. You know, they just never show up to any of their matches, lose everything by DQ.
Yeah, it's terrible. So I think they need to repackage Giulia, maybe make her more Italian. I don't know, just repackage her at this point.
I'm telling you, man, they need to find a German female and pair her with Giulia, and then you have the Axis as your tag. Here you go.
How dare you, sir? The Axis is not a viable tag team name for women, Mike. Come on, we gotta think of something much more creative than the Axis.
Like
okay?
Pure Fusion Collective.
I mean, a Pure Fusion Collective, that's like division level when it comes to creative, naming their tag teams or factions. You know. But the women's US title situation is just not great. I think it would be better for WWE to build up the women's singles division. Because you have Jordan Grace. I know she's not on TV yet since the last time she was on TV, but they got to put her in this division. They have to put you know, I know these are not great names, but Alba Fire and Michin and BFAB and all these other folks who are not having a significant storyline right now, just build up the women's singles division. And then when, all these people have a legitimate reason to take on Tiffany Stratton for the Women's US Championship, that is when you sort of do it. And when there is someone that is, popular enough with the folks and is good in the ring, someone like a Jordan Grace maybe who can, take Tiffany to a great match, that is when you take the title off of Tiffany. But right now, it is dismal. You don't really have a lot of women who are competent enough to sort of step up to Tiffany Stratton unless you call someone up, like you said, Blake Monroe or some other woman, But yeah, I think they need to focus on just the women's singles division, but they're not doing that because we gotta focus on the women's tag team division, a division that only a few people care about. So, and they messed up Giulia. So what the hell can they do, right? So,
All right.
I don't know if that answered your question. I feel like I was just venting there.
Yeah, no, I kind of got the same sentiment from a lot of other places that I was reading online. Is that there seems to be a lack of I mean, this is kind of the period in between, releases and then NXT call ups and vignette packages being pushed out and then being hyped and eventually debuted. So there's a little bit of a lack of talent at this period. So I I kind of agree with you in that they did fail Giulia's initial push, and they definitely do need to repackage her at some point. Um, I think putting her with Kiana James is a good start, honestly, because when she first got the title, and we realized that she couldn't cut a promo because she's not very good at English, and she doesn't have that same you know Io Sky levels of lovability that Io Sky has, to where even though she can't really, she doesn't have the greatest grasp of English, Io is, likable enough that it passes for the audience. So um, I think if you really want to fix Giulia at this point, you have to give her the title back and actually give her people to go up against and not have her sit on the couch for 2 months.
Yeah.
So, you have a couple women in the lower card. You can feed it to her if you want. Meech and BFAB, always typical appetizers.
Yep.
So, all right.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to slop out my card. That is
all right. Let's move. Yeah.
That is not much better.
Oh, really?
No. It's also a slop.
All right.
Smack slop down.
Is it gonna be? Do you think it'll be worse than the actual episode? Because if it is worse, then wow, I think we've set a new low.
I think
the Smackdown.
I think we tend to be more optimistic than the actual booking.
Yeah, that's true.
So probably better, but we'll see.
All right. Yeah, we'll see for sure. Well, let's move on to your card then. Let's see what slop you're giving these people. Starting off with,
we have a Jade Cargill promo. So Jade is advertised for this show. Jade comes out with Meechin and BFAB in tow to the ring, and she calls out Rhea Ripley for a match at Clash in Italy. Rhea is not here tonight. She is not advertised for this show, so I think Charlexa show up. They had a fight with Meechin and BFAB and Jade at the end of last week's show. They attack Meechin and BFAB. Jade leaves the ring. And Meechin and BFAB plus Jade want to take on Charlexa in the main event. So Charlexa need to go and find a third woman to help them out. Are we repeating last week's main events? Yes. But this is SmackDown, so
yeah,
I don't know.
We got 3 hours to fill. That's why we had a funeral of the gingerbread man bit at the end.
Yeah, it was funny that they did the Ted Turner, in memoriam thing at the beginning of the show, and then immediately cut to the gingerbread man funeral. And that just set me. I don't know why. It was so funny. I was like, wow. That.
Yeah. No. What a way to stick it to WCW, Mr. Triple H. I left WCW to go to WWE. And it was better. I'm
surprised they actually made any mention of Ted Turner. But, yeah. I didn't even know he was alive still. I was like, damn, he's still alive? That's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah. It is wild.
All right.
Yeah, I got nothing to say about what you just said about the Jade Cargill thing here. I guess we'll just move on then to.
A backstage segment. So we have The Miz and Kit Wilson are looking for Danhausen. We're going to continue this feud, I think, between The Miz and Danhausen. It's one of the better things that SmackDown has going right now. Actually, probably one of the best things they have going right now. Maybe behind Cody and Gunther. So we're gonna roll. We're gonna keep rolling with this as long as we can. They are looking for Danhausen, and they manage to run into Ricky Saints. They get into a bit of a confrontation, and I think this sets up a match for this show.
Okay. All right. I'm thinking you may be setting up here a tag team between Danhausen and Ricky Saints, but I could be wrong. But I guess we'll have to see. We'll move on from that too.
A three-way match. This is between Carmelo Hayes, Tama Tonga, and Ilya Dragunov. This is a number one contendership match for the U.S. title contender.
Whoa.
Yes, Sami Zayn has already had 2 chances at this title, so I think he has to sit on the sidelines for this one. I think what happens here is Trick Wilson and Lil Yachty in his gingerbread suit are at ringside. Sami comes out to attack Lil Yachty and Trick Wilson. They get into a scuffle. They cause a referee distraction, and Tama Tonga is able to steal the win thanks to a roll-up on Carmelo Hayes. I think that Tama Tonga probably challenges Trick Wilson to a U.S. title fight on the go-home show for Clash in Italy. I think Trick wins to keep building him up as a legitimate champion. And I think that this continues Sami's slow burning heel turn. I'm not sure what angle they're trying to put him in. It seems like they're going back to the conspiracy theorist where he's like, why is everyone gaslighting me or something kind of angle, which I think Sami's really good at, but they're slow cooking the hell out of it. So
yeah, and what will be the payoff when that happens? Do you have him put in yet another U.S. Championship match, or would you have him put in, say, the Royal Rumble and have him win it so he can, let's face it, win the championship from Cody or whoever holds it at WrestleMania in Saudi? Let's face it, that's probably going to happen.
yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Is you need him to turn heel so that he has enough time to develop his heel persona, and then when he loses, go away, and the audience having enough time without Sami welcome him back as a face for the Rumble. So if it doesn't happen by SummerSlam, I don't think he ever turns heel, and I think he just goes face into the Rumble.
Okay. I think that's... Yeah, I think that makes sense for sure. Yeah. So are we saying that Gunther will have kind of the same dominant sort of reign as he had with the Intercontinental Championship? Just basically come up with a bunch of quote-unquote jobbers against Gunther and just have him hold the title until Sami takes it from him?
I don't know. I mean, you still have Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov, who are 2 very good guys, albeit undersized. I think that's the reason they went with Trick, is because Trick is a couple inch, significantly taller than both Carmelo and Ilya. So I can see it going back to one of them, but it definitely seems like Trick is definitely a step above those 2 in terms of the booking hierarchy and the way that they're treating him. So I think what happens is that Trick probably keeps it up until maybe SummerSlam. Sami takes it back, and then Trick can go on to be a main eventer going for the WWE title or the World Heavyweight title, depending on what brand he goes on afterwards. And then we can go back to, Carmelo Hayes, Ilya, cycle at the U.S. title scene. So
Okay. I wouldn't mind that at all. That sounds like a great idea, but I don't think they'll take it. Anyway.
Yeah, I saw like a tweet. I don't think it was Dave Meltzer, but it was someone else that was saying that Shawn Michaels had a conversation with Carmelo Hayes and basically flat out told him that sometimes like they don't make the best decision when it comes to pushing down, like something like, yeah, sometimes the best guys don't win or something like that. And I was, that's so true. Like Trick obviously is he deserves a push, but the fact that they took the title away from Carmelo, who was carrying the U.S. title for months, just to give it to Trick to get a WrestleMania spot, was pretty rough. So I hope they give it back to him at some point. But I think that Trips is still stuck in that old Vinnie Mac style of like, if the guy looks good, he must be good. You know, the way that they're pushing Obafemi as well. So not that Obafemi is bad either. Obafemi is pretty good, but you know, like Tala Tonga, they kept Tala Tonga out of all the other Tongans, like JC Mateo and you know other guys who might actually have been not bad. They're pushing Trick Williams. Why? Because Trick Williams is big. So I think we're stuck in that mindset of big men must be really good because they're big. So I think that's partially why Trick is getting the push over Ilya and Carmelo. And I think that's just something that has been stuck in this company for fucking decades. Ghost of Vince McMahon still haunts this company, even though some people want him back.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. You know what? I could also say the same about the women. Triple H loves blondes. Apparently, I didn't know that. How many blonde wrestlers are there in this freaking women's division, man? You got Liv Morgan, you got Charlotte Flair, you got freaking.
I guess Alexa Bliss, kind of.
Alexa Bliss, kind of.
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Sol Ruca.
She's a champion. Yeah.
Blake Monroe, I guess.
Getting called up. A lot of blondes, Trips.
Yep.
What are you trying to tell us, man? Yeah. No. Anyway. Yeah. That's all I wanted to say about that, I guess. We'll move on to
Kit Wilson versus Ricky Saints. I think this is a result of backstage segment from earlier, and I think Ricky Saints wins via pinfall. I think they're going to give Ricky a bit of a push. Maybe he gets inserted into the U.S. title scene. I think he becomes a good lower card, mid-carder for a while to fill out the ranks. And yeah.
Okay. Great. Wait, so this is a triple threat match?
No, this is just Kit Wilson versus Ricky Saints.
Oh, okay.
The last one was a triple threat match.
So, yeah. Okay, so am I right in saying that you will have Ricky Saints have sort of tag team partner in the name of Danhausen? Is that where you're taking this? Or is kind of or is he kind of just like the target of the week and we're just gonna move on from that?
He is the target of the week. Maybe Danhausen gets involved somehow, but I don't think Danhausen does this week. I know that people love Danhausen, and I think you can't overexpose the guy. You can't have a situation where he gets overexposed to the point people start becoming apathetic about him. You need to keep him, away from the fans enough so that they actually want him back whenever he comes back. So,
well, that's where the mini housings come in. You have one of the mini houses to just go. Man, the guys over at AAA, they're getting a bunch of work.
They are
mini housings. Yeah, it's pretty great. Not gonna say. This is kind of like the Los Americanos and what the hell is the counterpart on the other end?
I think it was Brute something, and I don't know.
Yeah, but don't they have a name together?
I think it's like Hermanos Americanos or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. They were put together last
So
minute.
yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get Butch and the other British guy. Let's give him luchador gimmick. Why not? And it works somehow. So there you go. Anyway, enough of the charade. Let's move on to the next thing, which is
A backstage segment, Giulia and Kiana James. So Giulia challenges Tiffany to a title rematch at Clash in Italy. Uh, Speaking in Japanese, despite the fact that she also knows Italian. Maybe she's confused. Who knows? I don't know if this actually happens in Clash in Italy. I've heard rumors that they're trying to do Stephanie versus Liv, but Stephanie is hurt, so I think this is probably the backup match. And it actually makes a lot more sense because Giulia has at least some Italian descent in her, so it would be nice to have her in front of an audience that might support her. So there you go.
well, you won't know that unless she speaks some actual freaking Italian. Well, I think you heard her say arrivederci once, maybe twice.
She tends to speak more
That's it.
Japanese, which I think is just because there are also other Japanese women on the roster. So
Yeah. You know what? Let's repackage her as the woman version of Giovanni Vinci. Think about it, bro. She drives a Lamborghini or Ferrari.
I'm holding out hope.
There you go.
I'm holding out hope that they give Giovanni Vinci the fucking wow. I'm blanking on this guy's name. Oh my god! Why do I not know this guy? The dude with the snake. What's his? What the? I guess his.
Oh, Iguana? Mr. Iguana?
No, the guy with the snake sock on his hand. What the fuck is his name?
Yeah, I think it's Mr. Iguana.
No, it's not Mr. Iguana. He's from.
Oh wait. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Santino Morello.
Santino
Morello.
Morello. Yeah.
I'm just hoping they give Giovanni Vinci the Santino Morella a treatment where they have like a Smackdown where it's like the men's IC title, and it's Giovanni Vinci comes out again like Santino Morella and wins.
And then right there, he issues an open challenge.
Or maybe he probably fights Obafemi and loses, but whatever.
It could also be yeah, pretty good. Okay, so it's nice that you have Giulia on television for once. I mean, this is already better than what the SmackDown writers have in mind. So, I guess, would you consider even moving her to Raw at this point? I think it seems like SmackDown isn't like treating her well. I feel like a change in scenery would kind of help her more than just having her stay on SmackDown. Unless at least you have some fresh matchups and you have a chance to repackage her. So
you could. I think that the mid card scene in Raw is pretty filled at this point. I mean, you have Becky Lynch, Sol Ruka, you have AJ Lee, if she's still there. You have like guys like Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. I mean, I know they're more in the tag team scene, kind of, but those can all compete for a mid card title. So you could, she could go to Raw and be part of the IC title scene too. I think. I honestly think she's better off on SmackDown because there's more opportunity for her. I think they just need to decide if they want to actually give her a push or not, and remember that she exists when she has the title. So,
yeah, no, for sure. And I don't know if they want to give it to her, if they want to give her another opportunity, because remember, she had 2 title reigns and they were unremarkable at best. So I don't know if they're going to give Giulia yet another chance, but if they are, it's going to be the last chance. And if she doesn't go over with the people or produces a great title reign that will be remembered, I think it's time to just pull the plug on the project. Sorry. So, it kind of unfortunate, but just pull the plug, repackage her, move her to Raw, do something. That's not put her on SmackDown and do this whole thing again. So, anyway, we'll move on from that to
Royce Keys, Damian Priest, and R-Truth versus the MFT. Remind me, who is still in the MFT? Is it just Solo, Talatonga, and Tongaloa?
Tama. No, Tama. Tama Tonga.
Wait,
The
so
one that goes, yeah.
wait, who's the one who left? Was it Tongaloa?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
JC Mateo.
Wait,
Yeah.
no. The one who's talking with Shinsuke. Isn't that Tongaloa?
No.
No. So it's
Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga was talking to Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, right. Right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess Tama is pulling double duty because the MFT lost two of their guys because of budget cuts. I think that unless they somehow debut another fucking Tongan, I think, this is a follow-up from last week when Royce helped out Damian Priest and R-Truth in their fight against the MFT. I am assuming here that they win and the MFT can go into oblivion and be forgotten about, and then hopefully Solo can come back and be his own thing, because he is quite funny when you give him the ability to be a sort of like, a sort of crafty, like heel type character.
Yeah.
So
Just make him Rikishi.
basically, yes. Yeah, you make him into like a more comical version of Rikishi, he can be quite funny. And I think that's his best role. So
Yeah. It would be diabolical if they debut another Tongan and they name him Tongaloa. And then debut another Tongan and then name him JC Mateo. Absolute evil work from Triple H and crew. That would be
JC Loa and Tonga Mateo. There you go. Or you debut a short guy who is also a Tongan and you call him Shorta Tonga. You have Tala Tonga and Smalla Tonga.
Oh shit. Yo, you can make him like Minihausen, bro. Just make him like
Smalla Tonga and Tala Tonga.
You can do a Hurricane Rana, bro. Oh shit. He's got moves, man. Holy.
Just debut like a short wrestler, but like put him in the same outfit with the same hair as Tala Tonga. So it's like you take Tala Tonga and you scale him down.
You can have him sit on Tala Tonga's like elbow or shoulder. There you go.
Another Tongan.
See, WWE, take our ideas. It's all free. You don't have to sue us or anything. Just like take it.
Lord knows they need it.
Yep. We need ideas from wrestling podcasters. Hey, do you guys have any ideas? Yeah, let's have a small Tongan. Great. We'll send it to Triple H. Oh, man. Anyway, we'll move on from that to
Semi-main spots. Cody comes out and calls out the Gooner himself. Cody says that, he was attacked last week by Gunther, and he understands why Gunther wants the title, because Gunther has, he wants to take out the best that this company has to offer, but he has something to tell Gunther, is that Gunther is only been taking out, old, injured guys. Seth was banged up after fighting the Vision, and Gunther took him out. He took out John Cena on his last day in the company. He took out an old man in Goldberg. He took out an old man in AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. Yeah, he took out an old man, AJ Styles. I totally forgot that he retired AJ Styles too. But Cody is not an old man. Cody is much different than anybody that Gunther has actually fought. So Cody, takes off his jacket, takes off his tie. He's telling Gunther to come out here right now. We can do it right now. And Randy Orton shows up instead of Gunther. Randy is advertised for this show. Randy comes down to the ring. Yeah, he is. Randy comes down to the ring. There is some vague mention about Pat McAfee because we need to continue to put that angle down. Randy congratulates Cody on his win. Cody says, "I'm glad that you got rid of Pat." Randy says that he'll be back for his title before leaving the ring. I think that this is hinting that Randy is going to cost Cody the match at Clash in Italy. So.
Whoa. I am so glad that someone found a milk carton that says, "Where is Randy Orton?" Decide to, call them and saying that he found him, and now he's here. So, well done, guy.
Where in the world is Randall Keith Orton?
Oh, that would be a great song. But, okay, so you will have Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at Clash in Italy, or you would make this a triple threat?
No, it is going to be Gunther versus Cody, and I think that Randy shows up and costs Cody the match in some fashion.
Okay, so would you have a triple threat then at SummerSlam?
No, I think what happens is that probably between Clash and SummerSlam... Did we have a pay-per-view between Clash and SummerSlam?
I don't think so.
We don't, okay. I think at some point, I think they really want a Gunther versus Randy match. Everybody wants that, and I think that they want it too. Yeah. I really say it's a coin flip as to whether or not they have Cody inserted into that. Just because it's SummerSlam and there isn't as much politicking, I think that they're going to go with a triple threat between Cody, Randy, and Gunther.
Okay.
In an ideal world, what I would like to happen is for Randy to attack Cody maybe on the Fallout episode after Clash in Italy and write off Cody for a couple of weeks so that Randy can go one-on-one with Gunther at SummerSlam. You have the Legend Killer versus the Career Killer. That would be great. But I think really they're going to go with the triple threat because, Cody sells tickets. So.
Yeah. Love him or hate him, he sells tickets. And he's a merch seller, so there you go. For sure. But, I think his salary is way too long. I think you would agree. And, putting on Gunther or Randy Orton would be very helpful. So, I don't know. I don't know if they'll do it, but whatever. We'll move on from that to...
the main event, Tiffany Stratton and Charlexa versus Jade plus Michin and B-Fab. Tiffany is advertised for this show. I think they're going to save Giulia versus Tiffany again for Clash in Italy. This is the only other place I could think of putting Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany has some history with Jade because Jade was the one who took the title from her. So there is some history there. I think it makes sense. Tiffany can definitely fill the main event spot. That's my explanation for putting her here. I do not have any other reasoning otherwise. Because if I put, Rhea isn't advertised for this show, so I don't think she shows up. And I don't think Charlexa versus Michin and B-Fab is a main event worthy of SmackDown. Yeah, there you go.
Well, they think that the funeral of the gingerbread man is a main event on SmackDown.
That is true. So. That is true. So.
Wait, so you're not gonna have a Fatal Influence on this show, or was that in?
No, I think because they were on last week, I think that they're pushing, Jade as a heel again. I think. Oh, I didn't even say who won this one. Jeez. I didn't even say who won the
Yeah.
MFT fight. God. Okay, so I think yeah, I think the no, I did say that Royce, Damian, and Archer are gonna win that one. I think the heels win this one. Because I think the faces won last time. No, they lost. Okay. Um,
They lost, yeah.
I think that I still think that Jade wins this one. I know that Charlexa,
Okay.
they're being jobbers here, but I think they win via some heelish tactic, obviously. Uh, and this is just building up Jade to be a heel for Rhea Ripley to win again at Clash in Italy against, and then Jade can go be fired off into the sun because she does not need to be in the main event scene. Hopefully, leading to the breakup
Okay.
of Charlotte and Alexa Bliss so that either of them can go back into the main event scene and we can have someone other than Jade Cargill be going after Rhea Ripley's title. So,
Yeah. I mean, you have Jordan Grace, but she's not on TV. I
she's
don't know
injured,
why.
reportedly.
She's injured. Oh, right, right, right. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah, actually, there's not a lot. So, aside from Chelsea Green, but they're never gonna put her in the main event spot, so yeah, makes sense to me. So, with Rhea being the champion, how long do you think this will last? Because I know Jade is popular. The people, they like Rhea. But how long until this, like Cody, gets stale and eventually you want to take the title off of Rhea? Or do you think this is some sort of multi year reign here for
Probably,
Rhea?
probably through SummerSlam, I would
Okay.
say. Yeah. Maybe up until Survivor Series.
Okay. All right. And Jade, kind of, I don't know. Would you have her move to Raw? Would that fit her better? Or
Probably. I think she needs to get put back down to the mid card.
yeah,
So
I agree. But I don't know if they'll do it. But we'll see. We'll see if they do. And I guess that is what we have. That's the slop that we give you for what we think will happen on the next episode of Friday Night SmackDown. And as I said earlier, we will watch the actual next episode of Friday Night SmackDown as it airs, and then we will tell you what we got based on this brand new scoring system that we got here. Who knows if there'll be changes or whatever, but we'll see. So until then, thank you for ordering a slice of probably next week on Smackdown from Grapperinos. And remember, if you're down for some fresh, oven baked, crispy wrestling content, stop on by Grapperinos and order yourself some content you can grapple with. See you next time, everybody.